Hi, Mr. Ford here, and today we're going to be taking a look at Algebra and Introduction to Variables. Content covered in this video includes what is a variable, solving for variables, and uses for variables in everyday life. Let's get started. So first off, to understand what a variable is, we're going to start by taking a look at this equation here. 9 add 5 equals. Could you answer this? If you say yes, that 9 add 5 equals 14, then you've just solved for an unknown number, often described using a variety of different lowercase mathematical letters. Variables are an unknown number that could, under certain circumstances, change. Let's take a look. So here we have the equation 9 add x equals. Well, we know that 9 is one of our addends. X, the unknown variable, is one of our addends as well. What if x equaled 4? Well, if x equaled 4, then 9 add x would equal 13, because 9 add 4 equals 13. But what if x represents something that could change over time? What if 4 stops representing 4 and starts representing 9? Well, then all of a sudden, this equation becomes very different. Instead of 9 add x equaling 13, 9 add x, or 9 add 9, would equal 18. And so this is an example on how a changing variable, a changing number within an equation can change the overall answer. The sum, or the difference, or the product, or the quotient, whichever operation you're doing, changing the answer by changing the variable. But what if you already have a full expression? What if you know what the answer is? Well, when you know what the answer is, sometimes you may be asked to go looking for a variable to find the part and what it represents. Solving problems where the variable is unknown involves shuffling around the different parts of a problem so that you have a usable operation to complete. You can do this in any of the 4 operations, and later on, when you become confident enough, you can actually do this in expressions that combine operations as well. In a quick example here, we have 9 add x equals 14. By rearranging the 9 and the 14 to read 14 subtract 9, we have a usable operation. We can then determine that x in this expression equals 5. For a more detailed understanding of how to manipulate numbers in an expression to solve for an unknown variable, please see our addition and subtraction single operations videos connected in the same playlist as this video. Lastly, let's take a moment to talk about real-world situations where you might use variables. Variables are used in all kinds of different everyday problems. Variables are used to decide how many groceries go to a grocery store based on the number of people who are buying. Variables are used to figure out what the price of gas is going to be at the gas station. Here's an example that I don't think I could relate to in any way. If somebody decides that drinking 1 cup of coffee allows them to stay up for 1 additional hour, then we can use x to represent that cup of coffee. The more cups of coffee they have, the higher the value of x. If on average they stay awake for 12 hours and they have 1 cup of coffee, they may be able to stay awake for 13. But what happens when we change that 1 cup of coffee to 8? Now all of a sudden this person can stay up for 20 hours. Who knows how many coffees they can consume before they can just stay up forever. I'm Mr. Ford, and this has been Algebra, an Introduction to Variables. Content covered in this video included explaining what a variable is, solving for variables with various expressions, and uses for variables in real-world, everyday events.